Hello everyone, welcome back. First and foremost, I just want to start by saying it has been 10 million years per the usual, but I'm super happy to be back again and sitting in front of this camera, nerding out about Halloween. With that being said, today's video, ooh, you guys, I can't believe I'm saying this again, but happy halfway to Halloween, part 2, I should say. I cannot believe we're making a second halfway to Halloween video. There's just been so many spooky developments that have happened, and one halfway to Halloween video just wasn't big enough this year, which that has never happened, you guys. I've never had to make 2 of them. I made the last one and I thought we were done, but I am pleasantly surprised and very excited to say that we are not done. The best is yet to come. We found some really cool finds, and I'm so looking forward to today's video. So, happy surprise halfway to Halloween, everyone. And I'm just so excited. I hope you'll stay with me. So if you're looking for a good old-fashioned spooky adventure, I definitely got you covered with this one. So make sure you stick around. Welcome back. So before we get too far in today's video, I just want to kind of go over what you can expect with this halfway to Halloween video. So we are doing a second halfway to Halloween video because the first one, I just was not able to fit everything that I had acquired into one video. So today's video, we're going to be doing a decor haul, a spooky decor haul. And we're also, so this is the part that I'm actually really excited about. So put on your Halloween nerd glasses because we're about to nerd out, like big time nerd out. So viewer discretion advised. This video is going to be all about Halloween, code orange, everything that pertains to spooky season. So if that's not quite what you're ready for just yet, if it's a little bit early for you, for any of my subscribers who aren't quite ready for this content, I just want to put that disclaimer out there. This is a Halloween video. But we are so excited. In today's video, we're doing a haul, and we're going to be talking about some really exciting developments. And on that same token, I figured that it was good for me to, it was probably a good idea for me to make this video now. So we're here at May 25th when I'm filming this. But the reason I wanted to get this video out now, before we get into June, is for all of my Halloween lovers who celebrate the season 365 days a year, and for those of us, you know, watching who take our Halloween decor hunting very seriously, this video is for you. So the second half of this video, I decided I was going to do something a little bit different this year. I wanted to give all of my viewers an added tool, if you will, to help you when it comes to spooky decor hunting. So I have been, I've been spooky decor hunting my entire adult life, and I feel that I have learned a few tips and tricks along the way. And the second half of this video is going to be very special. I'm going to be teaching all of you some of my tips and tricks on how to score some of your bucket list items. So your white whales, if you will, or your spooky must-haves. I'm going to kind of teach you how, the best practice, if you will, on scoring some good items, all of the Halloween goods. And I'm going to teach you, just kind of my methods to make sure that I always acquire everything that's on my must-have list. So basically that's what the second half of this video is going to be. It's just going to be teaching you all of my tips and tricks on how to score all of the spooky goods before they fly off the shelves. Because for those of you who know, spooky season and Halloween decor hunting gets very competitive. So it really does. Like, especially in recent years, Halloween in itself has just blown up entirely, and in a good way. In a good way. It's just completely, you know, gone off the rails with, you know, its popularity. And I just feel like there's so many new spooky decor hunters out there, you know, and it gets pretty competitive. So that's why I want the second half of this video to really focus on some tips and tricks that I can share with you on how to make sure that you are scoring, you know, your spooky goods and that you're not missing out on anything. So definitely make sure you stick around for the last half of the video because it's something new that I'm trying, and I'm really excited to share some of these tips with you. But the reason that we're doing this now, just know June is the time that, it's our time, you guys. June is when all of this begins. That is when it's kind of, a lot of you might find this shocking. For those of you who don't celebrate the season 365 days a year, you might be shocked to learn that June is actually the official start of spooky season. So grab a snack, grab a blanket, put on your spooky socks or your glasses, because we're going to be nerding out about Halloween, and we are going to be going full force into a lot of spooky content moving forward. And today's video is kind of the tip of the iceberg of all of that. We're going to do things right and kind of start the season off strong with, you know, a really good decor haul. And then, like I said, the tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So definitely make sure you stick around. But anyways, moving right along, today's haul video, we have quite a few items that we need to talk about because there have been so many spooky developments, you guys. I cannot believe how many spooky developments there have been. So let's just start with, you know, talking about some of the biggest developments that have happened recently. As I mentioned, this video is going to be all about nerding out about Halloween. So we have some really important developments that I've been dying to talk to you guys about. So since we last saw each other, there has been two major developments that I want to talk about. So first and foremost, we all know that Michaels just dropped their spooky decor line that they kind of released as a halfway to Halloween line. They called it the Nevermore collection. So it was more, in my opinion, it was like a Summerween line or a summer kind of goth line. It had some really strong Edgar Allan Poe elements to it, and kind of the pastel goth, and I don't know, it had a lot more decor items that you can use as all year round decor. This is amazing, you guys. Let's just talk about that for a second. This is so incredible that we see retailers finally doing halfway to Halloween lines. We have been wanting this for years. This has been the first year that I'm aware that any retailer has done anything like this. So this is huge. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I was. And of course, with Michaels releasing a halfway to Halloween line, that's going to be the majority of our decor haul today. We picked up a lot of the items from that Nevermore collection. And then we also picked up some items from a few of my favorite antique stores. We went to At Home, and I believe that's everywhere. So a couple of fun places to talk about, but moving right, kind of going right off of what I mentioned about the big developments that happened recently. So there was Michaels releasing their halfway to Halloween line, the Nevermore collection. And then we had, of course, Joann Fabrics, which, you know, I think they did release a halfway to Halloween line that they actually titled Halfway to Halloween. And I personally think they only did it just to compete with Michaels. I don't think they were even, their line seemed a little bit rushed to me, if in my humble opinion. I think they just released it because they had to compete with Michaels. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm just excited that we're seeing halfway to Halloween lines, you guys. Think about it. We saw Halloween decor hit the shelves, I'm pretty sure in April. The end of April. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. We've never seen Halloween decor at least to my knowledge, hit the shelves that early. It usually always starts in June. So let's just celebrate. Let's just celebrate that. I hope you have a spooky beverage. Raise your glass to some halfway to Halloween hitting the shelves early, because you guys, that is huge. And I hope you all enjoyed the early decor that hit the shelves. I certainly did. That's going to be kind of the focal point of today's decor haul. But before we nerd out anymore, because I promise there's plenty more nerding that is coming your way, we have a few items that we want to get through in this decor haul. So as I mentioned, a lot of the items that we picked up for this halfway to Halloween decor haul came from the Michael's Nevermore collection. So we're going to start there. So the very first item that I picked up from the Nevermore collection at Michael's was this guy. And this, I actually picked this up a little bit later. So I'm not gonna lie, I have a problem. Anytime there is decor or Halloween decor hitting the shelves, I am literally obsessed, and I probably went back to Michael's at least 4 to 6 times. And it was like one of those moments where you go and you look in the fridge to see what's in the fridge, and there's nothing there. And then you check a few hours later, still nothing there. Same thing. I was going just to go at one point. So anyways, this was something that I picked up a little bit later. My boyfriend and I went back to get this. Well, I didn't know it was going to be there. I talked him into going to Michael's with me just to look. And, you know, this ended up happening. So I'm really excited about it, though. So it's this beautiful wall sign, this wall decor piece that was part of that Nevermore collection, and it's absolutely stunning. It says, "I myself am strange and unusual." And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of rare that I pick something up like this. I don't typically go for the signs that have all the wording. That's not typically my thing, but I love this saying. For those of you who know, I'm pretty sure this is a... Now, I know there was a lot of strong Edgar Allan Poe influences in this decor line, but in my opinion, this is also a nod to Beetlejuice. I don't think they were intentionally doing that, but I'm pretty sure Lydia Dietz, you know, Lydia in Beetlejuice, I'm pretty sure she says that quote, "I myself am strange and unusual." And I always knew I wanted that quote somewhere in my home, but every time I see it, you know, at any of you know, the big box stores, or, you know, anytime it comes out in Halloween decor, I usually don't like the decor items it's on. It's to me, it's usually very overdone, and a lot of the items they put it on has a very it's kind of cheesy looking to me usually, or it's just kind of goofy. So I usually pass on the items that I see this quote printed on. But this was the first time I actually came across a decor piece that had this printed on it that fit my aesthetic. So anyways, it's just this beautiful wall decor piece that says, "I myself am strange and unusual." And the thing that sold me on this is it has this beautiful brooch or cameo piece that's in the middle. And look at how stunning this is, you guys. It's got these like sculpted flowers that look like they're sculpted out of marble or something. I think it's marble. Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to look like. But it's just absolutely stunning. It's just these beautiful roses, and it's in this gold embroidered cameo / brooch. I hope that's focusing. And that absolutely sold me on this piece, you guys. I love this. That is the kind of aesthetic that I live for. And this fits, you know, my decor style in this home beautifully. I actually bought this to go above my bedroom door, and I think it's gonna fit pretty nicely up there. So I'm really excited about it. I love the lacy kind of frill or fabric they have going down each side. That is just so next level, and it's got a beautiful gothic element to it. And I think that's so pretty, you guys. I think that was a nice touch. But anyways, guys, that's the first piece. I hope you like it. I'm over the moon about this piece. Cannot wait to get this hung on the wall. But moving right along, I'm sure many of you will recognize this print once you see it. It's definitely a print that I've seen floating around in public domain. So, you know, I probably, if I was patient enough, I probably could have got this print for free someday. But you know, I'd have to go through like printing it. And nobody's got time for that, okay, you guys? Nobody's got time for that. So I picked up this gal, and she is glorious, you guys. So as I mentioned, I'm sure many of you recognize this print. It's just this Victorian girl. It's like an oil painting spoof of, or what do you call them? An oil painting dupe, kind of. It's not like a real oil painting, but it's just this oil painting of this Victorian girl who's looking the opposite direction, and it's got such a, I don't know, it's a little ominous to me, I'm not gonna lie. I love that though. This piece definitely makes you feel a little bit unsettled when you look at it, and it's just so eerie. I mean, there's no other way to describe this other than eerie. She's just absolutely beautiful. I feel like this is one of those pieces, or this is one of those art pieces that where a picture says 1,000 words. She absolutely says 1,000 words, and you don't even see her face. That is mind-blowing to me when like a piece of artwork has that capability. I think off in the distance here, that looks like a beam of light, but I like to think that it's sand pouring down, and I don't know, to me that makes it a little bit more poetic in a way. I like the sand that's pouring down with like the little beam of light over it. I don't know, it just, like I said, it has a very ominous, eerie vibe about it, and I love that. That's what we love to make people feel in our homes. But anyways, it's just this beautiful wall decor piece of this framed Victorian girl who's meant to look like an oil painting, and I love her. I picked her up for, now the original price on this one was $19.99. I did not pay that. When I went, there was a sale. So keep that in mind. Michael's is typically really good about marking their things down pretty early on after releasing it. So always go when there's a sale. Use a coupon if you can, because Michael's tends to be a little expensive sometimes. But anyways, absolutely love her. I hope you guys love her too. And I'm so sorry, guys. I always try to do this in my videos. I meant to say the price of that last piece, which I don't, that piece with the cameo roses, and I don't feel like picking it up right now, so I'm going to include the price somewhere down here. I always like to let you guys know what those are retailing for in case you want to pick them up for yourself. But anyways, moving right along, we are still at Michael's. Also from the Michael's Nevermore collection. I'm going to show the pieces first, and I'm going to do my best just to say all the positives, but I'm not going to lie, I have some words to say about these. So the next items are these beautiful Victorian cameos, and these are also part, I guess I should have picked them up from the ribbon. These are also from the Nevermore collection at Michael's that was released recently. Look how stunning these are, you guys. So it's just these Victorian-inspired cameos, and they have these ghostly apparitions on the front of them that look like they're made out of marble or something, or stone. And they're just these ghostly apparitions, and they are hauntingly beautiful. These, in my opinion, are the definition of hauntingly beautiful. Each of these feature their own design, and I love the Gothic rosaries that you see each of them wearing. They are absolutely stunning, and each has its own unique style of rosary. But I absolutely lost my mind when I saw these, you guys. I saw these online originally, and I couldn't quite tell how cool they were just off the online photo. But then, of course, I saw them in person, and they had to come home with me. But as you can see, they're just such a unique piece. They're a wall decor piece. And one of the unique features about this piece is you'll notice this actually has ribbon that is tied to it. And it's this beautiful black velvet ribbon. And that's what you use to hang these pieces, which I just thought was a very nice touch. And it kind of gives it a romantic goth kind of vibe to it, which, you know, I think that is a really job well done on these pieces. You know, they definitely are a conversation piece. I love the pearls that you see going around the border of each piece. And then, as I mentioned, each one has its own unique Gothic rosary. Love these guys. Love these guys. I'm going to be hanging these on either side of my vanity, the vanity in my bedroom, once we get it set up. But anyways, as I mentioned, before I get into this, each of these retails for $24.99. Again, I did not pay that. I bought these when these were on sale. So I don't remember exactly what I paid for them. But anyways, these are stunning. Love everything about these. Now, I did mention before I started, going on about these pieces that I had some words. And I was contemplating if I shouldn't say anything, because when I do these decor hauls, I try my best to keep things positive. But you guys, I know that some of you are out there buying this kind of stuff too. And I just, I like to give you, the best bit of advice that I can whenever you go out to make these purchases. And I like you to go into these things being well informed, when you go to do your spooky decor hunting. I will say, although these pieces are stunning and I just think they're such a magical, hauntingly beautiful piece, buyer beware. I'm just gonna say it. Buyer beware on these. The quality, especially for the price, is not really there with these pieces, and I hate saying stuff like that. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know there's some of you out there who probably bought these who are over the moon about them, and I'm not knocking them. I'm not. These are amazing pieces, but I will say the quality on these guys was not there. And the reason I say that is because both of these pieces, at different occasions, I had to take my hot glue gun to on both of these pieces. And I'm gonna have to go back in, actually, and hot glue certain areas of these pieces all over again. Because, like I said, the quality is not there. But the pieces themselves are amazing. So that's where we'll leave that. But anyways, you can pick these guys up, $24.99 a piece. I would go when there's a sale. But anyways, moving right along, over at Colorado Antique Gallery, I picked up these beautiful Victorian antique boots. Now, I know there's probably some of you watching being like, why on earth are you talking about cowboy boots on a Halloween channel? Well, there's a very good reason for that. So, I'm sure, as you can see, these boots have a very specific look to them. And as I'm sure you guessed, we're going to turn these vintage boots into into a spooky pair of witches' boots. So we're going to be turning these into my very own witches' boots, which we're going to display for Halloween. They're going to be, they're going to be decorative only, and I'm so excited. That's going to be a whole craft video, and I'm going to take you guys with me. I have big plans for these boots, but when I saw them, I just couldn't stop thinking about them, because I've never in my life come across, boots that look identical to witches' boots. I mean, look at this, you guys. Have you ever seen boots that look more like, something a witch would wear? I mean, they got the whole vibe. The only problem is they're the wrong color. So, with that being said, I plan to paint these We're gonna give them a nice antique look, you know, as far as the color goes. And I'm also gonna paint the laces. I was gonna just relace them, but again, I don't. These are only gonna be for display purposes. You know, we're just gonna be using them as a Halloween decoration. So we're gonna paint these, and we're gonna paint the leather, and it's gonna be a fun time. So that is going to be a future Halloween video. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I will be putting that video out sometime in September, most likely. It'll most likely be end of August or September timeframe that I put this craft with me video, and we'll be turning these boots into an authentic pair of witches boots. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited about that. I will say that when you pick things up like this at an antique store, you know, buyer beware. Just because it's an antique store does not mean that it's always going to be a more cost-friendly option. I paid way more for these than I ever care to admit. These were kind of ridiculous with how much they cost. So, buyer beware. But love these. Cannot wait to decorate with these. Moving right along. Okay, so the other antique item we'll save for last, but I do have another fun find. So I also stopped over at Home, and for those of you who know, At Home always has the spooky goodies. They always have. I always end up finding something, whether it's Halloween season or not. I always end up finding, you know, something that I can use for, you know, a more spookier aesthetic. And this item is, you know, no exception. I lost my mind when I found this. So I've mentioned this in some videos past. I've really been trying to be on the lookout for all year round decor pieces that, you know, don't necessarily scream Halloween, but also have a spooky vibe about them, you know, and fit my Gothic Victorian aesthetic. This piece is glorious. I was so happy about this. So, you'll have to bear with me. Oh my goodness, this is heavy. Okay, you'll have to bear with me. This guy is massive, and he's going to be very hard to get in the frame. So, just bear with me while I struggle through this. So, at Home, we found this guy. And it's just this beautiful, this hauntingly beautiful Cupid statue with a bow and arrow. And I am literally obsessed with this, you guys. This is gonna be all year round decor for me. I've actually already been displaying this guy on my entryway table. But this guy is just absolutely stunning. He is massive, as you can see, and it's really hard for me to get him in the frame. But he's just this beautiful Cupid statue. And he's got this beautiful bronze kind of gold paint that's all over his body. He's a bronzy kind of gold style. And it makes him look more statuesque, in my opinion. But he's just, I think he's actually meant for a garden of some sort. He's meant to go outdoors, but I, of course, am going to decorate with him indoors. But anyways, I lost my mind when I saw him. As you can see, he is just glorious. Definitely fits the bill for an all year round decor piece. And, you know, I cannot wait to continue to display him, because he's just, you know, he really is. He's such a stunning piece, and he looks glorious in the space that I have him in. You know, I wish I could show you, but I have him on this entryway table, and he just looks amazing. This piece is very sturdy, it's heavy, it's very well made, very, very large. I would say that this is a little over 1 foot tall. I don't know exactly how tall he is, maybe like 1.5 feet. But he's just an absolutely beautiful piece. And he definitely has a spooky feel about him. You know, he can fit in any Victorian our gothic aesthetic. But anyways, I hope you guys like him. I picked this guy up. I don't know if he still has the tag. No, he doesn't. So I don't remember exactly what I picked him up for at home, but I will include that somewhere down here. All right, so I apologize. I wish you could have gotten a better look at him, but it's really hard to get him in the frame. So, anyways, love this piece. Absolutely love this piece. So moving right along. All right, so that leads us to the last decor piece that I picked up for this haul video. I am so excited to talk about this, you guys. I have been looking for one of these for a very long time, and I cannot believe that it's finally come true. But, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to talk about this. So, from Old Crow Antiques, I picked up this beautiful antique cauldron. You guys, this is an authentic witch's cauldron. I mean, I'm not saying that it actually belonged to a witch. I don't know if it did or not, but it is an authentic witch's cauldron. This is the most classic looking cauldron that I've ever seen in my life. And it's a copper cauldron. It's real copper, you guys. It's amazing. And it's, I just cannot believe that I found this. This is something I've always wanted, an authentic witch's cauldron, you know, not like one of the little plasticky ones. And this definitely fits the bill. It's, you know, it's sturdy copper. I don't know if you can hear that. And it's got all of the classic witch's cauldron, you know, must-haves. You know, it's got the 3 little feet at the bottom, and it's got it's got 2 little handles on either side. It's got the classic handle at the top to hang, you know, above a fireplace, you know, in a total witchy fashion. But look at this, you guys. It is just the most classic looking witch's cauldron I have ever seen in my life. The only gripe I have is I wish that it was black. You know, we would have everything black if we could, but I wish it was black. But unfortunately, you know, I mean, not unfortunately, I think it's unique that it's copper. I think that's really pretty, actually. So I can't say unfortunately. You know, and beggars can't be choosers. I've been looking for an authentic, you know, real cauldron for a long time now. And I finally made it happen, and I hope you guys like it. This is going to be seasonal decor for me. We're gonna use this for Halloween decorating. And I have some fun plans for this, you guys. Oh my goodness, I have some fun plans for this. So, you know, let me know what you think too. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. You know, because even though I have some fun plans, I am a little at a loss for certain things that I could do with this. I have some ideas. You know, for example, I thought of using it as like a planter. You know, and putting some faux floral in here. You know, or, you know, like a centerpiece of some sort. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. You know, any thoughts you have on what I could put in this copper cauldron. Because there's definitely got to be something that's going to go in it. Because it's going to be displayed in an area where I feel like it would look a little goofy if it didn't have something in it. So, you know, if you feel like, let me know what you think. Because I would love to know your thoughts. You know, this is definitely a piece that I am open to suggestions on as far as ideas of things that I can do with this. I feel like the possibilities are endless with this piece. But anyways, guys, not much else to say about that. It's just a copper cauldron. I picked this up at Old Crow Antiques, and I picked this up for, oh my God, I forgot about how much this was. So I will say, again, buyer beware when it comes to antique stores. Just because it's antique does not mean it's cheap. So keep that in mind. I paid more for this than I would have wanted to. And yes, I'm sure there are better deals out there. Should I have waited? Probably. But, you know, I get really excited, you guys, when I find this stuff out in the wild. I can't help myself. I think I went back to Old Crow Antiques like 4 different times. I'm not even kidding. just to stare at this. I mean, I didn't just stare at it, but obviously I like looked around the store, but it was for the sole purpose to like look at this and then talk myself out of buying it. And then I came back like 3 more times and finally bought it. They did go down for me, however. They went down on the price for me. And the original price, I will say, get ready for this. The original price was $150. That is ridiculous in my opinion, but like I said, beggars can't be choosers. I did not pay $150 for this. They did go down on the price. Thank the spooky gods, because I would not have paid $150 for this. I just wanted to have, and I would have been very sad about it. But luckily they went down on price, so here we are. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the haul portion of this video. I hope you guys liked this. All right, so that brings us to the second portion of this Halfway to Halloween Part 2 extravaganza. But I'm so excited for this part, you guys. So hopefully you stuck with me. I hope you guys liked that decor haul. I was really excited to bring that one to you. So as promised in the first segment of this video, I mentioned that we would be not only nerding out about Halloween, so just keep that in mind. We're going to be very heavily nerding out about Halloween here in just a second. So viewer beware, our viewer discretion advised. But not only that, but I decided to do something a little bit different this year. Too often I hear many of the, Halloween family out there, different spooky family members out there, or, anyone who's part of the Halloween community, or the spooky community, if you will. Too many of our community members often talk about how they miss out on decor pieces each and every year. There's always something that they miss out on. There's always a very important piece that always sells out, or resellers, the infamous resellers that we all despise. But resellers will go in and buy up all a store has of a certain, popular item, and then turn around and sell it on eBay for triple the price. Just awful things like that. And I hear members of our community talking about how they miss out every year, or something sells out entirely, or the only place they can find it is through a reseller. And then it breaks my heart when I hear people falling prey to that, whenever they fall prey to having to purchase something triple the price because they wanted that piece so bad. And it breaks my heart to hear this, because, and I'm not saying any of this to boast or to brag or anything like that. Please know that I have pure intentions when I say this. I have never actually ran into that issue too often of not finding a piece that is on my must-have list, or, a major piece on my bucket list, or wish list, I should say. I haven't really ran into that too often where I don't find it, or I don't get it that year. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying that to boast or come off as bragging in any way. I'm saying that because I feel I've been doing this for quite a while, Halloween decor hunting and, collecting, if you will. I've been collecting for quite a while, and I feel over that span of time, I have learned a few tips and tricks on how to make sure that you never miss out on getting the spooky decor item of your dreams. So that is what this next bit of today's video is going to cover. I'm going to be teaching you some of my tricks on how to make sure you're the best spooky decor hunter that ever was. I'm going to teach you how to be very competitive about it, and I'm also going to teach you how to make sure you never miss out on your dream item ever again. So I'm really excited about this, you guys. It's something I've never done before, so I hope you'll enjoy it, because it's something I've been really excited to do this year. But before I get into my tips and tricks of Halloween decor hunting, I do want to nerd out about a few things. So this video, I knew was going to be a heavily Halloween focused video. So do keep that in mind. So what I want to nerd out about today is That spooky season is just around the corner. We are just at the verge of Halloween season for 2024. And the 2024 season is literally here, you guys. So there might be some of you who don't know this, but keep in mind that Halloween season actually begins in June. So as far as retail is concerned, the spooky season officially begins in retail come June. You guys, isn't that so exciting? We are literally here. We made it. We have arrived. Spooky season is just right around the corner, and I just wanted to nerd out about it with you for a second. For those of you who celebrate the season 365 days a year, or for those of you who celebrate Halloween 365 days a year, you know that spooky season officially starts in June. And I'm so excited to talk about that with you because there may be some of you watching who didn't know that. So allow me to be the first to tell you, it does. It absolutely begins in June. And you want to definitely start having your wish list going by June. You know, I can't say you'll have a completed Halloween wish list for the coming season, you know, a complete one by June, because we know how it all works. Retail will start in June, but they're going to be putting out decor, new decor, clear through, you know, September. Sometimes even into October, I've seen that happen. So it's impossible to have a completed wish list come June. But I wanted to get this video out to kind of teach you that June, or to kind of give you a heads up that June is the official start to spooky season. And we are going to nerd out about that all day, you guys. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this part of the video for quite a while now, because I don't feel like I nerd out about Halloween every single video, but I don't feel like I've ever dedicated a video to solely nerding out with you guys about the coming 2024 Halloween season. And you guys, I have you covered. I am going to be not only nerding out with you about, you know, all things Halloween and all things Halloween 2024, but I'm also going to be going over some of my predictions as far as what I think we're going to be seeing for the 2024 Halloween season. And I'm hoping that by doing so, it'll kind of give you guys a leg up on the competition and kind of help you get an early start on your wish list so you can be ready for when this Halloween decor starts hitting the shelves. Because as I'm sure many of you know, Halloween decor hunting has become very competitive. So you want to stay on top of it. I'm serious, you want to stay on top of it. So without further ado, let's just nerd out about Halloween. So first and foremost, I have a few predictions for Halloween season 2024. So I don't even know where to begin with this. I have a few really valid sources, by the way. The sources I have for this are pretty valid and pretty reliable, in my opinion. You know, this retailer, or this designer, I should say, usually holds true to setting the trends for the upcoming seasons. As far as like the decor pieces you're gonna see, they follow, you know, the current trends pretty closely, and they always are selling decor pieces that align with whatever the modern decorating style is. And that retailer / designer goes by the name of Catherine's Collection. So as you know, I'm an avid collector of Catherine's Collection, and if you don't know, we love Catherine's Collection around here. As you can see behind me, there are a few Catherine's Collection pieces just directly behind me here. We love Catherine's Collection. I'm not going to go into who they are right now, because that's not what this video is about. But just know that they're an amazing, amazing designer, and they come through every year with the Halloween decor. With that being said, Catherine's Collection is definitely a leader in the industry, in my opinion. Keep in mind, all my disclaimer here is this is all my humble opinion. I'm not claiming to be an expert on any of this. This is just things that I have learned over the years in my Halloween decor hunting adventures. But anyways, I have found that Catherine's collection tends to be a leader, in the industry when it comes to following trends, setting trends, and kind of, paving the way for whatever decorating fads or decorating styles we're going to see for the coming season. So this year is no exception. Pretty early on this year, Catherine's collection released some teasers for some of their decor pieces for the 2024 season. And I'm just gonna say it, you guys. This leads me to my first prediction. Based off of what I have seen with some of the leaks and some of the early releases that we've seen from Catherine's collection, Halloween 2024, it appears that pirates are going to be a huge theme this year. So my prediction, based off of Catherine's collection, early releases, and other, items that I've seen trickling out there, whether that be leaks or, just early releases, I predict that pirates are going to be one of the biggest decor items that we see, one of the biggest trends that we see out there for Halloween 2024, or one of the biggest themes that we see for 2024. So if you are into decorating with pirates or a pirate aesthetic, this year is your year. 2024, you're going to see probably the biggest boom of pirate decor that we have seen yet. And I'm pretty excited about it, you guys. I think pirates are really cool. They're not particularly my style, but I don't knock it by any means. I think they're really cool. I love it. I actually love when people use pirate decor in their Halloween decorating because it, of course, fits very well. And I've seen people do some really unique things with their pirate decor, and they've done some pretty incredible themes, going off of a pirate aesthetic. So if you like pirates, this is your year, and I'm so excited for you. We're gonna see so many pirate props hitting the market this year. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, I promise. Pirates, this is the year. This is the year of pirates. So you're gonna see different animatronics most likely hitting the market. You're gonna see decor pieces, static props, accent pieces, you name it. There is going to be entire decor lines this year that are solely based off of a pirate theme. So I'm really excited for that. We're gonna see a lot of pirate decor for 2024. So that is my first prediction. So be on the lookout for that. You'll see a lot of that trickling out in stores very soon. My next prediction for Halloween 2024 is based off of some early leaks that I've seen and just some, whispers in the wind, I predict we're going to be seeing a lot of the Universal classic movie monsters coming back this year, which, you guys, I am so excited about this. I love the Universal monsters. I love all of the classic monster movies. And, every year it seems like we get maybe one piece that's kind of a nod to the classic Universal monsters. But I don't think we've ever had a year where it's just like, boom, boom, boom. They hit us with a whole, line of monsters or, a whole theme. And I feel that this is going to be the year of classic movie monsters, particularly Universal movie monsters. And I have some good reasons behind this theory. So I'm just going to say it. So Home Depot dropped an early release this year of one of their servo props, and it's one of their servo animatronics, and it was glorious, you guys. I don't know if you caught it. They dropped it for a halfway to Halloween release, which is also incredible, you guys. Everywhere's jumping on the halfway to Halloween bandwagon, but they dropped it as part of their halfway to Halloween release, and they released this enormous life-size Frankenstein that is a servo prop. He's the realistic head movement, kind of like the Lethal Lily that we saw last year of the witch animatronic. They released a Frankenstein, but he is literally licensed by Universal. From my understanding, he is a licensed Universal prop, and some of the whispers in the wind I've heard is he's not going to be the only release, for a Universal monster. There has been whispers that there may be a Nosferatu, which I don't know if he's Universal, so I do apologize. I don't know, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a Universal monster, but I do know he's a classic movie monster. So I do predict that this is going to be the year of classic movie monsters. I think we're going to see a few different decor pieces hit the market, as well as accent items, props, things of that nature. It's all going to have a classic movie monster / Universal feel about it. So that is exciting, you guys. We love the classic movie monsters. That's what I live for when it comes to Halloween decorating. I always love a good classic movie monster. So that's my second prediction. I am also thinking that, this kind of goes without saying, I'm not the first person to predict this, but do keep in mind that, and I'm wearing the stripes, Beetlejuice is coming out this year in September. So that is huge, you guys. It's directed by Tim Burton. It's the second installment of the horror comedy classic Beetlejuice, which, it's a Halloween staple. Everyone in this community knows Beetlejuice. And as I'm sure you're already well aware, they're coming out with the second movie, 30 years later, I don't even know how many years later, but a long time after the first release. But you know what? I'm here for it. I am so excited, you guys. We are going to get our second Beetlejuice installment, and I'm so over the moon about that. It's a dream come true. That's a movie that I thought would never see a sequel. So the fact that they're doing one, I'm pretty thrilled about. But the reason I talk about that is, with that being said, that's being released September 2024. So theoretically, that means we're going to see a lot of Beetlejuice decor hitting the stores. I predict that Spirit Halloween is going to have so much Beetlejuice decor this year, you guys. This is going to be the year. If you like decorating with a Beetlejuice aesthetic, whether that be black and white stripes, whether that be the sandworms, whether that be, actual Beetlejuice props, this is your year. This is your year, you guys. They haven't released a Beetlejuice movie in over 20 years. I don't know how long it's been, but so theoretically, we are going to see tons of Beetlejuice decor hitting the shelves. And that's so cool, you guys. We love Beetlejuice. And that's going to be amazing for fans everywhere. So Spirit Halloween, I predict, is going to be huge on the licensed Beetlejuice decor lines. I also think other stores are going to cash in on that. I think we might see some things. I don't know which retailers. I'm not going to try to take a stab in the dark. I don't know who, but I don't think Spirit Halloween's going to be the only, retailer out there or big box store cashing in on the Beetlejuice, aesthetic, because this is the year. Just like when Hocus Pocus 2 released, there was a ton of Hocus Pocus decor that hit the shelves. So this year's going to be no different with Beetlejuice. So get ready, you guys. We're going to see lots of Beetlejuice hitting the shelves very soon. I think that's my final prediction for this year. There's nothing else too obvious to me of, as far as themes that we're going to see this year. But I do really stand behind all of the predictions I made so far. So get ready. It is going to be full force. You're going to start seeing different retailers trickling their merchandise in from June through October. So we have finally arrived, you guys. That is so exciting. But anyways, that is all my predictions I have for the 2024 season. This is going to be a huge year for Halloween, you guys. I guess my final prediction is 2024 is going to be one of the best years we've seen for Halloween decor yet. And I'm so here for it, you guys. And I hope you are too. And that leads me into the final portion of this video. As I mentioned, I am going to be sharing some tips and tricks on how you can be sure that you score all of your spooky goodies this year, that you find absolutely everything that is on your Halloween wish list this year. And I promise you, it's possible. It is possible, you guys. For all of my viewers out there who have said that, they missed out on something from years past, or it got bought up by resellers and they were tempted to purchase something, triple the price, this segment of the video is for you. I am so excited to be sharing these tips with you. I have been decorating for Halloween my whole life. I'm 30 years old. I've been, collecting my own private collection of Halloween decor and all year round decor pieces my entire adult life. I've been doing this for probably going on 7 years, at least longer. Going on, it's probably going on 7 or 8 years that I've been, kind of in my adult life that I've been doing this, on my own with no help, so I'm not at all claiming to be an expert, so please know that going in, but I do feel that I've learned some tips and tricks along the way, and I am so happy to share those with you guys. So, without further ado, let's just dive into the final portion of this video. So, I have learned a few things over the years on how you can be a master at acquiring everything that's on your wish list, where you can be a professional Halloween decor hunter. And I am so excited to share this with you. So for those of you who live the season 365 days a year and who also are very competitive about your Halloween decor hunting, I'm sure you may know some of these tricks, but there may be some of you watching who don't realize some of these things. So if you've ever ran into a moment where you had a wish list item or a must-have item or, your dream decor piece that you wanted so bad, it was at the top of your wish list, you were so excited about it, and then you go to get it and it's just sold out everywhere. I'm sure we've all had that happen to us, but if that's happened to you time and time again, my first tip to you is always, you'll always want to make sure that you start getting your list together as early as possible. So my very first tip is you want to get going on your list now. Don't wait until August timeframe to get your Halloween wish list started, because that's how you're gonna miss things. There's gonna be things that hit the market and then they'll hit shelves and they'll sell out like that. And then by the time you come August timeframe, by the time you realize that this decor piece was floating around out there, it's too late. It's already been bought up. It's all the resellers have already snagged it, and there's a possibility it might hit shelves again for a restock later on, but it's usually very short-lived and it's usually very hard to come by after the first time it sells out. So my first tip to you, start your wish list early. It doesn't have to be completed early. Obviously we can't complete it too early because, there's going to be random releases from June on. So we can't get our entire wish list put together, but you want to start now. So that's my first tip to you. Definitely start doing your research and figuring out what has already been released. Figure out what's out there now for 2024, and if it suits your fancy, start your list. It's never too early to start, but if you haven't started one already, make sure you start now. Now is the time. My second tip to you, if you're trying to acquire a Halloween piece that is very hard to come by, join a Facebook group. That is going to be your best friend when it comes to, getting all the scoop about elusive decor pieces or rare finds or, hot Halloween items. Joining a Halloween Facebook group is one of the strongest tools you can have in your Halloween arsenal. or your Halloween decor hunting arsenal. I stand by this through and through. I wasn't always a part of a Halloween Facebook group. You know, it was only maybe 3 years back that I even started joining them. But that is going to be one of your strongest tools. You'll want to do your research. You know, not all Halloween groups are created equal. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Try to find large Halloween groups. Try to find groups that post often and that have good core values. You want to make sure that they're not groups that are filled with spam or filled with a bunch of like Facebook politics. You know what I mean? Try to try to avoid stuff like that. But do your research. Find a really strong Halloween Facebook group that has, you know, kind of a good group following. You know, like a, you know, kind of a large member count. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to have a ton of group members. You know, I've seen smaller Facebook groups that also wield a lot of power in this sense, you know, because they're very passionate group members that are in there. So I guess the biggest thing you want to look for when you join a Halloween Facebook group, Facebook will tell you how often a group posts. Usually, I don't know if it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure it tells you how often a Facebook group posts. Pay attention to that. If a group posts quite regularly and there's a lot of engagement and people seem pretty pleased with the content that's being shared on there, regardless of the group member count, as long as it has pretty steady engagement and you see, you know, steady posting on that group, that is going to be the group that you want to join. That combined with a high member count, you know, groups that have, you know, a ton of members in it, you know, large Halloween groups, combined with, you know, groups that post often and have steady engagement, those are going to be your best bets, because those I tend to find wield the most results when it comes to people sharing what's out there. Because in a Facebook group, people are constantly sharing things that are hitting the market when they happen, you know, like live updates. And there's been plenty of times that something's, you know, been shared on one of the Halloween Facebook groups that I never even would have heard of otherwise, you know, so they're very helpful in, you know, making sure that you are always in the know about the latest trends in the Halloween market. So that's my second bit of advice. Join a Halloween Facebook group. I guess my third bit of advice, and this is a big one, you guys. This is a big one. I mean, this might be one of the strongest tools you can have in your arsenal. Try to make friends in retail. As bougie as that sounds, and as like, you know, I don't know, as like inclusive as that sounds, or exclusive as that sounds, it's really not. It's very easy to make friends, you know, in the retail world, and you can do that simply by being kind. You know, that's another tip that I'll give you, and probably the biggest tip of all that I'll give you, more so than any of these tips in this video. The biggest one you'll want to take with you is lead with kindness. Everything that you do, always be kind. You know, it costs you nothing, you know, to be kind to other people. And that's going to also be the easiest way that you can make friends in retail. That is going to be one of the best things you can do. And I'm not saying you have to be getting coffee with this person or going out to sushi. And you don't have to do things like that. I'm not saying make that kind of friendship, but just be kind, you know, get to know people, you know, be friendly. You know, people love talking about themselves, so, you know, ask them questions. A lot of times people in retail, they have some of the hardest jobs ever. I tip my hat to them. They deal with some very unfortunate, unpleasant personalities on a day-to-day basis, and they have a hard job, you guys. So if you lead with kindness and you're kind to these people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a really good response from that. You know, and start with the stores that you frequent. You know, if you go to Michael's a lot, get to know the cashier that's there. Be kind. Ask them about their day. Get to know them. Be friendly. You know what I mean? That's going to go so far, and that's going to go such a long way with them, that when we get to spooky season, if you've already built that rapport with this person, you have an in. They're going to tell you about early releases, it really behooves you to try to make friends in retail. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. As long as you lead with kindness with everything you do, and you're kind to these people, it's not hard. Just be kind, and that'll take you farther than anything. I'm serious. That'll take you at least halfway, and the rest of it is just being polite and frequenting and very gently asking if they have any leads about Halloween 2024. Tell them your item that you're looking for. Be as descriptive as possible. Be kind. Be polite. And don't be too pushy. That is my biggest tip I can give you there. Be kind, be polite, and don't be too pushy. Because I'm not gonna lie, people in retail also get very annoyed when us Halloween people are showing up super early or blowing up their phone lines asking about an item that they've already been asked about 72 times that day. You know what I mean? So there's two sides to that. It can't be helped, but at the same time, you can also be the person who's being very gentle and kind about it. So just make sure you're always leading with kindness, and that'll do wonders for you in the Halloween decor hunting side of things. So that's my I'm like losing track. That's my third tip, I believe. Make friends in retail. My fourth tip, I kind of touched on it briefly when I said, calling ahead and everything, and calling stores. That is my fourth tip. Kind of a double-edged sword there, because I said not to do that too often. So like I said, don't do it too often. Don't be too pushy about it, but it still needs to be done. So my fourth tip: call ahead. Call the stores that you are interested in, that have your dream decor item. Like I said, be kind, be gentle, be polite. Don't be obnoxious about it. But just call when they open, and as long as you're leading with kindness, it's really hard to be mad at a kind person. So as annoying as I'm sure it is for a lot of people in retail, as long as you're kind to them, you should be okay. But but just be sure that you're calling ahead. Before, I would say call before a store even drops their merchandise. So when you know that there's a line that's going to be dropping soon, or there's a release date, my advice is to call before that release date. And like I said, if you've already done my previous tip and made friends with the people in that store, and then you're polite when you call ahead, they very well may give you the hookup. You guys, it's happened time and time again, where over the phone, they literally like, oh my gosh, is this Jessie? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, well, we don't have it, but this place will. You know what I mean? So just be polite, be kind, call ahead, make friends, and the rest is history. I'm serious. That's all it takes. So that's my fourth tip. My fifth and final tip is, this one is just kind of it's more of like a given rather than me giving you a tip. It's just something that has to be done. If there is a hot ticket item that you're looking to score for 2024, or that's a must-have item on your wish list, if it truly means a lot to you, and if it truly is something that you can't live without, or that you want to have for the 2024 season, you're gonna need to accept the fact, and I'm sorry, you guys, I don't mean to sound harsh, but you're going to need to accept the fact that you're going to need to be willing to do a little bit of driving. And I know that sometimes this is an unpopular bit of advice, but it is a must. If you want to score your dream Halloween decor piece, you have to be willing to drive. You cannot live in a fantasy of thinking that you're gonna just be able to go to your local store and find this amazing hot ticket item that everybody and their mom also is looking for. That's just not realistic. I'm sorry, it's not. especially in big cities. You know, you cannot expect that to happen. And that's why many times people often miss out on their dream decor piece, because they feel that stores are going to have enough merchandise to accommodate everyone. And I'm sorry, but with supply and demand, that is not how it works. I work in sales, so I know how this goes. Supply and demand is very competitive, and more often than not, there is more of a demand than there is a supply. So please, my last bit of advice for you is if you have been operating under the notion that you can just go to your local store and find your dream decor piece, you need to let go of that. You need to completely let go of that, wave at it as it flies in the wind, and just come to the realization that, you know, you're gonna have to be willing to do some driving. And when I say driving, I'm talking some serious driving. There has been times I have There's been times that I have driven over an hour, you know, to a certain location, you know, whether that be, you know, a Bath and Body Works location, a Cracker Barrel, you know, Michael's, whatever the store is that has my dream decor piece. I have driven over an hour, or drove over an hour before Halloween hunting, you know. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not saying that is a given or that's a guarantee that you're going to be driving over an hour, you know, to find your dream piece. I'm not saying that, but I am saying you got to be willing to accept that possibility. So that's my final tip to you. Be willing to drive. If something is important to you, you got to be willing to put in the gas mileage for it. But it's worth it in the end. I'm serious. That I cannot express to you the feeling of how amazing it is. And for those of you who know, you know, that feeling of when you're on the hunt of Halloween decor hunting, and it's in the peak of Halloween decor hunting season, and everyone and their mom is also out there looking for these things. It is such an amazing feeling when you score something, when you score your white whale or your huge bucket list item or your must-have, your hot ticket, top of your wish list item. It is such an amazing, euphoric feeling when you find it. You know what I mean? It's just, I can't even put it into words, and you feel so accomplished when you do, especially if you find it in the peak of everything, you know, when everyone else is trying to find this. So that is my final tip to you guys. I hope this was helpful. I know this was kind of a long video today, but, you know, as I mentioned, this video was focused on celebrating halfway to Halloween and kind of kicking off our spooky season right. I hope you enjoyed nerding out about Halloween with me. I hope you enjoyed our halfway to Halloween decor haul, and I hope these tips and tricks that I gave you come in handy when you're out there spooky decor hunting for Halloween 2024. Hopefully I'll see some of you out there. Just so you know, I'm very competitive. So even though I gave you these tricks, just know, you know, I'll fight you for a piece. Just kidding, I won't actually fight you. But I'm gonna be out there on the hunt as well, and I hope to see some of you out there. And I really hope that some of these tips and tricks that I've provided you come in handy. And if they do, if any of you actually utilize these out on the hunt, please share that with me. Let me know. I would love to know if any of them come in handy, and if there's any of my viewers out there, or any of my original spookies out there who have been on the hunt for a particular item for quite some time, or who have missed out more than a few times over the past few years. I really hope that these tips and tricks come in handy for you, and that you're able to get everything that's on your wish list for Halloween 2024. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. I do want to mention really fast, if you missed the last video, I almost said last week's video, but it's it's now been like 3 weeks. But anyways, if you missed our last video, I am going to include that in the description box of today's video, just because it was a good one, you guys. I always do that whenever, you know, there was a video that I was particularly excited about. So last video was really fun. I documented my purchase of a 400-year-old religious artifact. It is a baby Jesus statue that originates from the 16th century, and it's amazing, you guys. It is such a fun video. You don't want to miss it. So if you did miss my last video, definitely make sure you check that out, and I've included that in the description box for you. But as always, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Please make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And feel free to leave me a comment. I would love to chat with you, especially in today's video since we've been nerding out about Halloween. Tell me, if you have anything that's already on your wish list, if you have any predictions for the 2024 Halloween season. And also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think could go in that witch's cauldron, that I showed earlier in the video. Love to hear what you think would look good in there. I am absolutely open to suggestions. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, please stay safe and happy Halloween.